Are you ready for this magical transformation? It is going to be a magical ride. It's not just going to be learning new skills, but you're going to find out that you're going to become a different person. And not just at the end. It's every single time you're listening to something, you're implementing it, and then you'll find out that you're changing within. I'm so stoked for you. I'm so excited as well because we're going to spend some time together, and in this video we're going to talk about the 3 different types of speakers. How many types of speakers? I want to hear it. I want to hear it. 3! Oh my god, you're so smart. You deserve 10 points. I'm going to throw them at you. In 3, in 2, you have to catch them. 1. Okay? There you are, with this extra level of dopamine. I hope you're ready because we are going to understand what those 3 types of speakers are. We're going to do that together, okay? I'm not just going to teach you. We're going to figure it out together through examples of myself speaking. Now, before I'm going to do that, I want your promise that you're not going to judge me and that you're not going to laugh at me, okay? Because some examples are from the beginning of the beginning of the beginning, but it's for us to learn something, okay? So we're gonna watch some videos. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what 3 levels are, and then we're going to figure out more about that together. So the first level of speaking, the first level of speakers is what I call educational and informational speakers. You might want to write it down. The first level of speakers is what I call educational or informational speakers. Now we're going to watch the video and then we're going to find out what it really means, okay? Are you ready? An example of Laurie being an educational or informational speaker. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Spitsen nu eigenlijk.
By the way, this video...
Spitsen.
Oh, there she goes. This video is in Dutch. So you might not understand what I'm actually saying, but trust me, it's not necessary to get the point.
Het is eigenlijk een kort verhaal om een doel te behalen. En ik heb daarin kort verhaal en doel wat belangrijk.
Wow. Big round of applause for the younger version of Laurie. She was doing the best she could with the knowledge she had. Okay? So don't judge yourself either. When I'm going to share these 3 different levels, you're going to see that there's a level up, a level up, a level up. But in order for you to come to level 3, we need level 1 too, okay? Because there's no transformation without education. There is no transformation without education. So we need to develop first level 1 before we go to level 2, before we go to level 3. So let's figure out what actually happened. And before I'm going to do that, I just want to tell you a little bit about what happened here, because this stick that you see was actually the beam of where the curtains are hanging on to. And when I was writing this down and filming this whole scene, which took me forever, I saw that when it was recorded, it was actually mirrored. So I had to write it on the back of the paper so it was mirrored for me, but then when it was like a whole incredible day, a full day to record a 15-minute version. So know that we all have to start somewhere, okay? You might see me now or you looking up to other speakers and then you forget that they all started somewhere. So in this course I want to show the full Laurie so you can embrace the full you as well, and you're gonna learn that authenticity is the best version of you that can ever be on stage. And it's not so much about this perfect script or whatsoever, but it's more about you strategically sharing from the heart. And that's what we're going to dive into, okay? So this first level, educational or informational speaker, what is it? If you would describe it in a sentence or 2, what would you say? You can pause the video to think about it for yourself. All right, I hope you wrote your definition down. And now I will share what I believe educational or informational speaking is. And I will do that with an example, okay? Do you remember a teacher in high school, for example, that when you were listening to him or her, this information came to you, and then very fast, it was out again. It just didn't stick. For me, that was in history. I had a teacher, and then we needed to remember. I remember the situation. I don't remember any of the content because we had to memorize all the specific dates, the years, the month, the days, if you know, we still knew that from what happened before. And then what happened. So different wars, different whatevers. I needed to learn so many dates and I don't remember any of them. Actually, I do remember one. Because on some point I did have an amazing history teacher. I remember this vividly. I actually wrote an article about this specific teacher and why it's so amazing with storytelling on my LinkedIn, so you can check it out if you want to. But this guy, he created pictures for me. He made history alive. He was telling stories. And specifically about Columbus. And if I really remember it correctly, he discovered America in 1492. I think it's right. And the reason why I remember this is because he told me that his birthday was actually the same day, not the year, but the month and the day, that Columbus discovered America. And now I had a picture, now I had a feeling, now I had an association where I could store it in my brain and it was easier for me to remember. But in this level, we don't go there yet. In this level, we're just pouring facts, okay? In this level, we educate. And again, there's no transformation without education, so it's really, really important. But I think we can both agree that just facts are not the most impactful way. One other example before we dive into level 2, and that is something I wanted to do personally, and that was to do a triathlon. I love sports. I've always been a competitive swimmer. And then at some point I thought, you know, running is kind of cool and biking is something I would love to do as well. So I started to educate myself on how is this going to get done, right? What do I need? And I had running shoes. I always swim. I'm from the Netherlands, so I'm used to sit on a bike, but I never had a race bike. So I started to educate myself what is necessary for me to accomplish this goal. And I needed to find a bike, right? I started to read what is the distance? What are some eating patterns? What are some trainings that I need to do before to be physically ready, to be mentally ready? All of those things. I started to educate myself. Again, there's no transformation without education, so it's really important. But, I mean, I didn't completely hear you, but I felt your agreement on the fact that this is not the most impactful way of speaking. So let's dive into level 2 to see what that's about, okay? So we're gonna watch this video in a bit, but the first thing I want to tell you is what the definition is. You might want to write it down again. The second level of speaking is what I call motivational or inspirational speaking. I'm gonna say that one more time. Motivational or inspirational speaking. Now, out of all honesty, is this what you write on your LinkedIn bio or on your Instagram bio or on your Facebook profile? I am a motivational speaker. I'm an inspirational speaker. A lot of people claim to be that, and before we're gonna do all of that, I would love to first together discover what it really means. Okay, so let's watch this video first and then have this conversation again. This video was from my corporate time, okay? And I'm talking to 300 people all over the world. It was really, really cool in that moment, talking about innovation. So let's see what a motivational or inspirational speaker is all about.
If that happens, there's just only one thing that I want you to remember. And that's something that came to your house already 1 or 2 weeks ago on a sticker. And that thing is trust the process. You are not alone. We are together. There are a lot of people that are helping you guys to reach that full potential. And the only thing I'm asking you right now is to trust that process.
Trust the process. All right, in your own words, motivational or inspirational speakers. What are they about? What was different than the previous level? You can pause the video again, write it down or speak it out loud for yourself before I'm gonna reveal it, okay? So pause the video. Did you pause it? Did you think for yourself? The reason why I ask is when you think first, you're going to remember it way better. Okay, so this is all so you get most out of this time that you're spending here. So, a motivational and inspirational speaker. What do you think? Is the energy level of the person on stage higher or lower than the previous example? Higher, right? Is the level of energy, the level of excitement higher or lower? Higher. What is so amazing about a motivational speaker is they're really able from the external place to send you that momentum, right? When you're listening to such speakers, you're like, oh, I can do this. Yes, yes. And you make the decision. You know what? I am going to write a book. In that moment, you are making a decision. You know what? I am going to do that triathlon. You know what? I am fill in the blank. Whatever whatever you pick, right? A motivational speaker is really, really good in making you feel, the audience feel, that it's possible, that you can do this. This is amazing, right? There's no transformation without energy. There's no transformation without education, but there's also no transformation without energy. We need energy to create new habits, to create new decisions, to create new thoughts. So this is so important. So for example, with my triathlon, like I figured out the distance, I figured out to buy a bike, I had all those things, but I still needed to train. And with motivation, I was able to start. I was able to run my first 10 kilometers or I don't know, 6-7 miles if you're more from that part of the world, right? Like you're doing the thing, you're getting it across, you're getting momentum, you keep going. The only thing that sometimes is not there with this type of speaking is that when you are not motivated, when you are not inspired, when it actually gets a little hard and doubts start to come in, and let's just face it, you will get doubts too, by the way, of finishing this whole magical journey. So we don't want to just rely on motivation. Because if you rely on motivation, you might start writing the book, but you don't publish it. You might start training for a triathlon. You might even sign yourself up. You just don't show up on the race. Right? So this is incredible. You get you're not only getting education, but you also get the energy, you also get the momentum, you also get the action in the moment. But there's a third level. And the third level is what we're going to go to now.
If that happens, there's just only one thing that I want you to remember.
Trust.
And that's something
the process.
To trust that process.
There you go. Next one. Sometimes, where are we going? I'm gonna put the right video on. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna explain what the third level is about, okay? This is what I call transformational speaking. Transformational speaking. What is transformational speaking? We're going to figure that out by watching this video together. And this video, there you go. This video is me sharing in front of a group of a mastermind of Dean Graziosi. It was incredible. And what I'm not saying, by the way, and I want to say this is really important, is this is not perfection, okay? When I look at this with everything that I know now, I have so many things I want to change, but that's okay. I want to give you permission for that too. You don't need to be perfect. And this third level, this transformational speaking level, is also not something that we arrive to. This is something you are, something you're always striving to be a little bit more every single day. So when you know what a transformational speaker actually is all about, and we're going to dive a little bit more in that later even because it's that important, you'll know that it always becomes more. Once you start to see that it's this much, that you increase the level of transformation. You're never finished here. You just become more of it. So when you're listening to this, know that you're going to learn, but you're also always going to evolve. And that is the goal. That is the goal. Okay, so we're going to look at some different aspects of transformational speaking while we're going to really understand what that level is about. That's the goal for now. So let's watch the video.
I'm not sure if this John guy, just read a lot of books about this place, or that he was actually there when they built it 5,000 years before Christ. I mean, and let me back up here. The fastest way to transform people, to really inspire a transformation, to get them from inspiration to activation, is when we go from only sharing factual to emotional.
All right. What did you see? What was I doing there? What I was doing, and this was just a short part, so maybe if you don't have the whole context, you're like, what does she mean? I was using a personal story, this John guy, this was a whole story about Stonehenge, and I was connecting this to a teaching moment. Transformational speakers know, and you're going to learn so much about this, is that when you use personal stories, there's so many amazing things that are happening. People start to learn a little bit more about you. Their brain, their mirror neurons are activating. They're actually remembering it better. They're learning, they're integrating it for themselves. Because what transformational speaking is really about is that you're not giving people motivation from outside in. But you're helping people recognize, you're helping people integrate, you're helping people make a new distinction and new decisions, new breakthroughs, new insights from the inside out. So when the motivation is not there, doesn't matter because they decided from within that this is the right move. But what I told you, we cannot have transformation without education and without motivation, without energy. So we need it all. This is just the next level. Let's see if I can do this. Interesting. I'm going to share one more video.
I'm not sure if this John guy...
I'm super not sure if this John guy. Let's look at this one. It's the same talk. This is just a different part. And we're going to see what it is about, okay? There we go.
Actually start to say it out loud right here, right now. I am a legend. Say it. I am a legend. And you keep saying it. I am a legend. And you start to feel the energy inside of you and you start your volume going up. I am a legend.
All right, what did you see over here? People have their eyes closed. They have their hand on their heart. And what you may not know is they have a stone inside. I was telling a story about Stonehenge. And then I used that theme to create a surprise where they were holding the stone. And they were creating a new identity and they were connecting that into the stone. This is a beautiful way of integration where it's a next level subconscious integration and next level subconscious upgrade. And this is what transformational speaking is truly about, is that you help people to integrate the new, first recognize a new breakthrough, to get new information, to get the new breakthrough, and then to really integrate this. So this is not just inspiration. This is sustainable change. And the best yet, and we're not going to dive too far in it now, but a transformational speaker really knows that speaking is just the beginning. The goal of your gig, the goal of your speaking is to get people ignited to say yes to their next level, to work with you longer, because can we agree that when you see only reels, or you just hear someone, maybe for 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 60 minutes, whatever it is, there's more transformation when they work longer with you. I know for a fact that you're going to go through way more transformation than people who are only looking at social media. People are opening Instagram and see reels, like often, but it's way different than the proximity that we're having now. Than the compound effect that you're going to get, because every single video is designed exactly like this. It's in this specific order, so you get the biggest breakthrough. You're in the right place, you're in the right time, you're doing the right thing. And people will do that with you as well, and the more they're with you, the bigger the transformation. So, these are the 3 levels of speakers, and let's dive in even more what transformational speaking is really about.